So I'm Daniel Uribe. My background, I am a cybersecurity guy. Been in the blockchain space for the last 5 years. Super fan of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And my kid was diagnosed 2 years ago with a rare disease, so that's where everything started about DNA and genome and everything. So thank you. I'm going to talk to you really quick about our project. Let me just go ahead and load the presentation, if it's possible. If not, I'll just... Okay, so DNA is the first blockchain of nature. Nature needed where to store the data that works to improve species. It's decentralized by nature, right? So DNA is the blockchain system of where all the mutations, bad and good, are stored, right? So I am a different block that comes from a transaction between my dad and my mom. Let's take it like that, right? So my story, my genetic story is stored there, but it's pretty sensitive information because it has 50% of my mom, 50% of my dad, my grandparents, and so on and so forth, and my descendants as well. I have 4 kids, they all have 50% of my genome. So, how many of you have taken the test, this famous 23andMe or Ancestry DNA? There we go, okay, thank you very much. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that these companies were pioneers, but they only extract a bit of your genome. It's 0.02%. It's 700,000 positions out of your 3.3 billion bases or positions, right? So we are still something to do about that. So what we do at Genobank is we conducted the research and we got to the conclusion that only by having 96 positions of your genome, we can create a non-fungible token that will represent you, even if it's a large data set or a short one. Let me explain a little bit. There are many, many studies that if you match only even 50 positions when you compare genomic data sets, that is you, even if the database is anonymized or de-identified, right? So let's say you want to claim ownership on your 23andMe participation. So you ask, based on the new privacy laws, like the California Consumer Privacy Act, that allows the users to ask companies what information they have from you. They will literally tell you, you know what? I don't know, because your name doesn't appear in the database. But what happens if you create this token and say, well, these are 96 unique positions of my genome, and I want you to query them and to see if we have a match, right? So with only 96 matches, with only 96 positions, you can claim that one data set is you, even if it's anonymized or de-identified. So this project is the intersection between genomics, privacy laws, and blockchain. And we are using NFTs to represent your unique variants in the genome, because humans, we share 99.9%. We are the same species. Nevertheless, out of the 3.3 billion positions, we have uniqueness in approximately 5 million to 4 million mutations. That's our mutations. That makes us. Our body is different, right? So from those mutations, from those differences, they are called genetic variants, again, we create this tiny non-fungible token that is not enough to tell something about you, so it keeps your privacy, but at the same time is useful to locate your data on any database along the world. So you can exercise your privacy laws rights by using our platform. So of course that's one of the services. The other, by having a DNA wallet, you will always be able to participate in research. You will be able to donate, to share, to even inherit your data, right, for future generations, keeping your personal data safe. Because as we were talking in other panels, they were talking about anonymization versus non-anonymization. So in this case, anonymization is good. So every wallet starts here with a saliva tube. This is very typical from the industry, right? The only difference is that we create your wallet using a tiny QR code that is based on the tube that will represent your public address, right? With this, we can create a wallet, so all the data coming from your biosample, or your saliva in this case, will be deposited into a private and encrypted repository that only you can access through this wallet, right? So, at the end of the day, we believe we are creating the first bio NFTs, right? So the bio NFTs, we believe, will help us to locate, control, and own our biological information using these amazing technologies. So I don't know if there's any questions. I'll leave that's what I had about you. There was something else in the presentation, but time is over.
That's really cool. So does that mean that if I register my DNA, I can then charge companies to use it?
Yes, exactly. The idea is that the new privacy laws gives you two main rights: the right to be forgotten or the right to query companies about you. So either cases, you can enforce these laws digitally now using these NFTs as a proof of ownership.